So Netflix, the world's largest subscription streaming service, decided to give dangerous pseudoscience a potential audience of 158 million people. Let's talk about it. Netflix recently released the teaser trailer for their new show, The Goop Lab, which will premiere on January 24th, 2020. I hate that it has the word lab in the title. There's nothing scientific about Goop, but we'll discuss that in a bit. Right now, on YouTube, it's drowning in downvotes. And according to the description, the show will seek to guide, quote, deeply inquisitive, gullible viewers in an exploration of boundary-pushing wellness topics, including psychedelics, cold therapy, female pleasure, anti-aging, energy healing, and psychics, end quote. Woo! There's a laundry basket of potentially dangerous pseudoscientific garbage. In fact, Goop has drawn, quote, controversy for the expensive, possibly unsafe products it peddled, as well as alternative suggestions like foregoing shoes as a means of curing insomnia, and referring to crystals as timeless databases of knowledge, end quote. I feel like the possibly unsafe part is a bit of a stretch. It's definitely unsafe, especially when you factor in that earthing, what the article referred to as foregoing shoes as a means of curing insomnia, supposedly helps with depression, at least according to the hacks at Goop who desperately want to sell you their products. And of course, there's no scientific basis to believe it does. And pushing such a crappy narrative could cause very real harm to those who should be seeking help from actual medical professionals. But you'll notice the wording of that Goop article. It doesn't come right out and say that it will cure any of those things. Only that several people swear by earthing, and that there's a more scientific angle, without providing any evidence for that. And this is because in 2018, Gwyneth Paltrow agreed to pay $145,000 to settle a false advertising lawsuit. The lawsuit was over their vaginal eggs, which were advertised to be able to balance hormones, regulate menstrual cycles, prevent uterine prolapse, and increase bladder control. Which, of course, there's no scientific reason to believe it could do any of those things. Goop also claimed that their, quote, inner judge flower essence blend oil could help prevent depression, end quote. Gwyneth is on record as saying that she had no authority to do anything like Goop, likely referring to online business rather than the crap she peddles, but it could easily apply to the entire venture, and she said that her mistakes have cost her millions. Apparently not as many millions as she's making, though. Since Goop is a private company, there's no way to know how much it's worth. But it's estimated to be worth somewhere in the vicinity of $250 million. And with Netflix essentially advertising her site, that number will likely rise in the coming year. Gwyneth is known for her really bad quotes, like this one. Quote, "We're human beings and the sun is the sun. How can it be bad for you?" I think we should all get sun and fresh air. I don't think anything that is natural can be bad for you. It's really good to have at least 15 minutes of sun a day, end quote. And I have to share this with you. It's my favorite response by a real doctor to Gwyneth's statement. Quote, "Well, there are other things that are natural also. Poison ivy is natural. I wouldn't want to have a natural moisturizer made out of that. Snake venom is natural. I still wouldn't want a cobra to bite me. Uranium is natural. I still wouldn't want my house built over a large uranium deposit. Tobacco is natural. I still don't think it's good to smoke. And so on and so on. Just because something is found in nature doesn't automatically make it good for you. And so we still have to use common sense. By that token, we know that UVB and UVA are both known to cause skin cancer, so it makes sense to protect ourselves from it." End quote. It's too good. Anyway, Goop's site is littered with unscientific nonsense being sold at extravagant prices. And many experts have called out her predatory practices, baseless claims, and shitty products. At this point, I think we've established how crappy Goop is. I obviously think Netflix choosing to give Goop an even bigger platform is a dangerous mistake, but what I think is an even more relevant thing to think about is why Goop has been so successful. Why do people continue to buy their products, even though it's well known that they don't work and aren't based in real science? I think it's a multi-layered problem. Part of the problem likely lies with the media. They're often constrained by shrinking budgets, and so they cut corners by not fact-checking. But the mainstream media isn't the only issue, which Netflix is only too happy to show us in this story. It seems that as a global society, we're abandoning the shared value of truth mattering. Netflix cares more about how much money they'll make than whether their tacit endorsement of pseudoscientific garbage will harm people, or even if what they're peddling is true. The words of a well-known, wealthy celebrity who once said that exposure to the sun is good for you gets more press, more acknowledgement, and is ultimately worth more to many people in the public than all of the real professional experts who have spent years of their life studying one specific topic. I know it's part of being human. We tend to believe or listen to people we like or who have better branding than someone we don't know or who might be less likable. We're full of biases, but I think this is a fact about ourselves that is important to keep in the back of our minds. The next time you're examining an argument, reading a newspaper, listening to a YouTuber, unless it's me, browsing a website, reading an article or book, or watching a commercial, ask yourself whether what they're saying is actually true and backed up by expert opinion, or do you just want to believe them because they sound good, look good, or are confirming one of your pre-existing beliefs? I think if we all did this a little more often, it would drastically reduce the number of untrue things we believe, and reduce the harm that predatory companies like Goop and individuals like Gwyneth Paltrow can do. Thank you for watching. Thank you to my wonderful patrons. If you enjoyed this video, please leave me a like and comment. And if you really liked it, please subscribe. And if you're able, perhaps support me on Patreon. Take care and cheers.
You take me home, invite me in. The lights go down and we begin.